Toss is made, he tracks with the ball, and I'm watching his eyes from here because I can see if he's tracking the ball or not. I'm going to do the same thing if he's a left-handed batter. I'm going to come to this side and do the exact same thing. If you're in the cages, and you have an umpire who is making a call too quickly, his timing is poor, one of the tricks I will do is we will ask him to close his eyes. But wait, the machine is throwing a ball at me. No, it's coming to the catcher, plus you had gear. You know why they gave you gear, right, as a plate umpire? You're going to get hit. Just get used to that. Our goal is to make sure you're not hit often. If you keep getting hit in the arm, God's telling you to move your arm. All right? Oh, you know, boy, Mark, I keep getting hit in the arm. Well, what'd you do during the game? Well, nothing. I just kept getting hit in the arm. You know the definition of insanity, right? Doing the same thing, expecting to get a different result, right? You're doing something wrong. You're doing something wrong. So what we will do in that situation is we will have an umpire get in, and we'll ask him to close his eyes. Because his timing's too quick, and that ball will come in, it'll hit the glove, and now he will have to process it. We talk about using different senses, correct? And invariably, that umpire slows down his or her timing because they're not seeing the ball out here and making their call. It's hitting the glove first, they need to process it, and all of a sudden their timing gets better. And they do that 3 or 4 times. 3 or 4 times. And then you put them behind there again. Close their eyes. You let the pitch come in and you say, open your eyes. About halfway through, he opens his eyes, and now he's getting the feel, he or her is getting the feel of the timing. Obviously, be careful when you do that with your catcher. Be careful who your umpire is. I mean, these are just things you use depending upon the level of the people you're working with. But these are some of the little things you can use. These are some of the little things you can use to help the things that invariably most umpires do. They are not wide enough, so you need to teach them that wider is better. They are too low, so you need to teach them that the bottom of their mask is no lower than the top of the catcher's head. They are too bent over, so you need to teach them that it's a squat and a lean, not a swing. Squat and a lean. They're not tracking the ball with their eyes. So you teach them to process that with the shishka ball. And they're too fast with their timing, so you use whatever tactics you need to help them adjust their timing, to use other senses to help them slow down. Some of them don't know what proper timing looks like because they've never seen it, or they've never done it themselves. Sometimes you have to show them that. The final thing we want to show, it's amazing how you think of it, is the use of your arms. There is a proper way to use your arms. Again, so we hope to limit the number of times you are going to get hit. On a right-handed batter,
see what his arm going to do.
On a right-handed batter, your left hand is known as your wrap arm. Your left arm is known as your wrap arm. The side that the batter is on is the side of your wrap. And if you want to remember it in a ridiculous way, somebody taught me last year, if you got a batter here, you want to give him a backhand here. That's your wrap hand. If you got him here, you want to give him a backhand here. Whatever you use to remember. All right? But your left arm in this situation with a right-handed batter will be your wrap. So it's going to be on the rubber, set. Notice where his arm is. We see, and you will see a lot of umpires who will put it up here, towards their chest. Well, let the chest protector do its work. Put it down here. You want to teach them to have an open hand, not a closed fist. Because if you do get a ball off the hand, it will be relaxed and open versus hard and closed. You will also talk to that umpire about chicken winging. Not necessarily with this arm, but with this arm, but we'll show it to you with this. As the game progresses, this arm tends to start to fade out a little bit because they're getting tired. Really wrap that arm. Some umpires hold their crotch, whatever you do, we don't care. Just keep that arm tucked. The other arm, you got to do something with. We don't care also, again, what you do with it as long as you get it out of the way. Some umpires put it here. We don't want it there. Why? We don't want it there. Okay? And that's also a problem with the Davis. All right? We'd like you to grab behind, we'd like you to grab your hamstring with that hand so it is tucked and tight. This is the arm where as you get tired, you'll start to chicken wing. And you'll start to get balls off the arm. All right? What we do not want is for you to put your hands behind your back. And if you do put your hands behind your back because you can't do it any different, don't clasp your hands. Because invariably, this movement drops your head. Especially if you're Chris, and you really got to reach back there to get to your hand. Alright? This movement will drop your head. Alright? And we don't want that. So what we want to do on a right-handed batter is we want to step in. We want to get wide. We want to go heel toe. As we get set, we're squatting, our hand position, we lean. The last thing we do is a little head position, and we are good to umpire home plate. Okay?
Now, as you're teaching this, all these steps, we go down first, and then we lean, and then our head. Look, we don't want the umpires to do this. That's why they practice 5 hours in the room every night, so that it's one move. We don't want it mechanical. We don't want, that's too mechanical. You do it all at the same time when you're going down. But they have to learn why they're doing what they're doing first. It's building. So then they can do it all together. Otherwise we look too mechanical. We don't want that to happen. But they have to understand why they're doing it.
Final?
Yeah, okay, before we do the final. This is the pre-final. Yeah. Remember, I encourage you to show the plate position as a group, your whole group, whether it be 50 or 100 people. The very first thing you do when you get them out of the stands after you talk to them is take them down on that home plate and do this, because not only are they learning the correct way of doing it, but who else is learning while you, or the lead instructors, are teaching it? All the other instructors, aren't they? So you're getting them on the same page, so that they should teach the very same stuff when they get out to their soft draw station or wherever they're going next. And when they're doing their basic six, you know, the very first one is a plate umpire position. Make sure everybody's heel to toe. They should have learned it. And that's where you learn and keep practicing these things. That's why we do these over and over and over and over to get muscle memory. So it becomes conscious competence. We don't have to think about what we're doing. We just do it because that's what our muscle memory tells us.
Final point. You're going to get the question at every clinic, and it was given here. What happens if you don't have a slot? What happens if the catcher sets up inside and your batter's crowding the plate? So here's our scenario. And Big Chris is going to try and find a slot here. There's no slot there. There's no slot there. What we want you to do initially is to teach your umpires to fight for the slot. To fight for the slot. But where it doesn't exist, do not teach them to go out here. Absolutely not. Never teach them to be out there. You will lose umpires game one. I mean, literally and figuratively, you will lose them. Okay? That's number one. Number two, do not teach them to tell their batter to step back. I've seen that. Hey, batter, move back for me a little bit. Okay? Don't teach them to do that. What you want to teach them to do is what we call up and back. Up and back. This is the only time where we may ask you to be a little out of the slot, to be out of the slot and a little more over the catcher's head. But that is what you teach. You teach up and back. So if you see Chris, when he steps in, step back, when he steps into his normal slot position, he realizes, I don't have a slot here. Now he's got to adjust. He's going to go back and a little higher. Now what happens there? What pitch is he going to have trouble calling being up and back like that? Inside corner? Perfect. Low pitch inside corner. So he gets that pitch. It's right on the corner. The catcher catches it. Chris balls it. And he immediately watches the catcher's shoulders slump forward. Because it's like, oh man, that pitch was perfect. You missed it, Lou. So now what do I got to do? Who is his best friend in any game? Him, right? Who is his best friend in any game? Him. So they're going to work together. So Chris is going to read body language of the catcher in that situation. I mean, the pitcher nailed it. Best pitch he's thrown all, probably the only strike he's thrown all inning. And because of the position here, they missed it. Chris couldn't see it the way he wanted to, so he balls it. He watches the catcher's reaction. Now at that point, it's time for Chris to clean the plate. And you teach your umpires, in that situation, come out front, take your brush out of your pocket, turn to your catcher, and say, give me a better chance to see it, and I'll get that one for you. That's all you have to say. Who's the only one who heard that? The catcher and potentially the batter, right? Perfect, because what do we want him to be doing?
Swing.
Swinging the bat. So now all of a sudden Chris gets behind the catcher, and lo and behold, he wants that inside pitch, but now he's going to use his glove and not his body, and look what he just gave him.
Slot.
All right?
You know what I'm going to do as a catcher in the next pitch I'm going to call?
But that's how you teach your umpires to work with catchers, to work with players. Okay? It's not just, like Bill said, I'm going to stand here, and for 6 innings, God will help me for only 6 innings, I'm just going to keep doing this. That's all I'm going to do. I don't care what happens in the game, but I'm just going to do this for 6 innings, because sooner or later, it's going to get dark. You've got to work with your players. You've got to work with your umpires. You've got to, with your fellow umpires. You've got to work with your catchers, okay? Within the confines of the rules. There's nothing wrong with what I just did. I wasn't coaching. I didn't show anybody up. He gave me respect by not turning around and saying, oh boy, you missed that one, didn't you? No. I watched his body language as a catcher, and now I know how I'm going to better manage my game. What do I want as an umpire? I want 2 things. What do I want as an umpire on a game? In a game? Strikes and outs. I want to give everybody the best opportunity to give me strikes and outs. So that's what I'm going to do in that situation. So those are the little things you want to use, and teach your umpires how to use them, rather than be frustrated and sit back here, and this guy nailed that corner 7 times in a row, and you've got a runner on first for ball 4 and a 3-0 count, and now who are you hearing it from? Because that glove hasn't moved for 7 pitches, has it? But hey, he's doing the best job he can. So help him a little bit. Help him find what you need. Okay? Questions? A lot of stuff. You spend a lot of time in clinics doing this. You're going to spend a lot of time during your season with umpires doing this. Yes?
Well, typically, because this is what I do, I don't